Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you all are doing well. This is gonna be lab number 2 from CORS vulnerability module, and in today's lab we are gonna see CORS vulnerability with trusted null origin. So we will see what is trusted null origin, why it's risky, but let's see the description of the lab. So this website has an insecure CORS configuration in that it trusts the null origin. Okay, why it's dangerous to have the origin null, we will see that in a minute. To solve the lab, we need to craft some JavaScript that uses CORS to retrieve the administrator's API key and upload the code to your exploit server. So in same like previous lab, we need to actually exfiltrate the administrator's API key. The lab is solved when you successfully submit the administrator's API key and we have these credentials to log in. Okay, so before going to solve the lab, let's see what is whitelisted null origin value. Okay, and why it is dangerous. So I will just briefly describe you with one example what happened. Some web applications whitelist this null in their CORS policy to actually allow requests from these special contents. Okay, for example, a web application maybe want to allow local files or sandboxed environments to access its resources, and this particularly and most of the time happen in the development environment. Fine. So what risk is associated of whitelisting null origin? So the first thing is, if you allow null origin as an allowed origin, that can be risky because attackers can exploit this to bypass same origin policy restrictions. Okay, in the previous video I already described about the same origin policy, and this is very restrictive. So if you put null in the whitelisting origin value, so it could be exploited by the attacker to just bypass the same origin policy, SOP. The second thing is the malicious pages that served from file protocol, which you can see here also they mention the same thing. Okay, so malicious pages served from this protocol, file protocol, or sandboxed iframes can make cross origin requests and read sensitive data if the server reflects or accept null as a valid origin value. The third part is it can also lead to data theft or unauthorized actions. Okay, so let's see what happened. If you see this example, I would highly recommend you guys to read this content. Okay, but I just briefly describe. So you can see in the request header there is one header named as origin and its value is null. So if this request is received by the application or server, how the server responds? Server will respond the access control allow origin value as null. So in this situation, an attacker can use various tricks to generate a cross origin request containing the value null in the origin header, and basically this will bypass the SOAP. Okay, so same origin policy. This will satisfy the whitelist leading to cross-domain access. For example, this can be done using a sandboxed iframe cross-origin request of the form. So you can see this is actually the payload or skeleton payload for that. But if you already watched the previous video or lab number 1, you can see this is the same thing where we make an XML HTTP request object, and we have one function named as request listener, and here we are actually making one request to the application, and we send the request and we put the credentials is equal to true, so that any authorization token, session ID, or authentication parameters will go with that request, so that request can be processed. Fine. Now here we actually execute the function which we specified here. Okay, and this will basically redirect the redirect to our exploit server. Okay, with the query parameter key. This is the query string, and this query string will contain the response in the text format with the API key, session ID, and all. Fine. So this is the same as previous one. We just need to put here one iframe. This is your sandbox iframe. Okay, and within that we execute our script. So let's go without wasting time, and we will also use the same payload. Okay, let's go. I'm gonna start my lab, and we have here burp suite is on. We are having all the traffic here. Now we are in the application. Let's log in with the username Wiener and the password is Peter. Okay, you can see this is our API key, but we need administrator's API key to solve the lab. Now, if you see these requests, this is the post request where we put the username and password and submit the request. Then we have this request where we actually get into the home page, and if you see the response, if you see the request and response both here, you can see there is no header, response header that is indicating for the course, and also here there is no origin header. Fine. But if you see the response closely, it is same like in the previous lab, that we have one Ajax here. Through this it is going to get this API key details within this endpoint. Okay, so this is the same endpoint, and within this endpoint, if you see the response, you will see access control allow credential header, response header, and it's indicating that maybe course is implemented. So course may be implemented. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to send this request to the repeater, go to the repeater, and here I'm just going to send this request one more time to see everything is working perfectly, and you can see it's fine. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add here origin request header, and let's just test it by putting here any domain or any URL, example.com. okay, send the request, and let's see what we have in the response. So in the response you can see the same response header is there, access control allow credentials. Okay, but not the origin response header reflected here. So that means this is not gonna work. What if I try the same URL as the lab or as the application and send it, and now you can see access control allow origin header appears in the response, and it is reflecting the same value as the lab, as the same domain. Okay, so that means there may be whitelisting configuration is there, okay, for the course, so that only trusted or whitelisted domains or origins are allowed, because example.com was not in the whitelist, so it didn't appear here. Now what else I can try is I can just delete this and put the null here, okay, and send the request again, and you can see this one is perfectly fine. Now you can see access control allow origin header is appeared in the response, and the value is null, the same value what we put in the request header origin, the same value appear in the response. So that means null origin is whitelisted, and this one we can exploit. Okay, so how we can exploit? Let's go to the exploit server with the file protocol or iframe sandbox. So I'm going to use the same, which is this one. Copy that and back to our exploit server, paste it. I just need to change this value. Okay, delete https://. So let's just copy this one one more time, Control C, and paste it here. Okay, with the endpoint, and the endpoint is going to be account details. So just copy this endpoint and paste it here. Make sure you include this endpoint. Fine. Next thing here, we have to add our exploit server. So we will add it from here, copy and paste this one. Fine. So that is perfectly fine. Seems okay. Let's just view exploit. There is nothing. Iframe is showing here. Just store it and send the exploit to the victim, deliver exploit to the victim, and go to the access log. And you can see we have one hit here, but we do not get anything. Let's see, maybe not accessed perfectly. Go back to the exploit server and one more time just try to deliver exploit to the victim, and again go to the access log. This time we have this, but nothing appears. Okay, let's just go to the solution, and what I'm gonna do is copying it from here, although both are the same thing, but still maybe the format is not correct when we paste it. Format, yeah, that seems perfect. Okay, so here again, https:// go to the verb suite. Here I'm gonna copy this one and paste it here. Okay, and the exploit server, we have this one. Copy that and paste it here. Fine. Let's just store this and deliver this exploit to the victim one more time. Access log, hopefully we will get the key. Yeah, so this time you can see we get the data within the query string, and this is gonna be the API key for the administrator user. Okay, so just copy that, Control C, back to the verb suite, go to the decoder, paste that. Let's do the smart decode, and you can see this is our API key. So I'm going to copy this API key, Control C, and back to our lab and just submit the solution. We already copied the API key of the administrator. Make OK, and you can see congratulations, you solved the lab. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoy the lab and you understand why null whitelisted null origin is dangerous. So that's it. I'm gonna see you in the next video. If you like the content, please like, subscribe and share. Bye.